Anglers fishing for American shad on the Delaware and other mid-Atlantic region rivers have encountered a sticky situation this spring as some of the fish they're catching are filled with blood-sucking parasites. And it's not just a few, sometimes there are well over 100, making for a scene out of an old-time horror movie. On April 15, Gordon of Delaware County fishing on the Susquehanna River just north of the I-95 bridge in Maryland, landed a shad that was infested with the tiny parasites. Gordon, who has been fishing for shad since 1980, says he'd never seen anything like it. Occasionally you might see one or two things in there, but this was crawling with them, he said. There were hundreds of them in the fish's gill rakers and gills. I wondered if that was evidence of the shad feeding because they were in the gill rakers or if this was a parasite. Other anglers have also reported catching them, including Rusty Held, a member of the Delaware River Shad Fishermen's Association Board of Directors. I've been catching some with the parasites in their mouth, but not all of them have them, said Held, who fishes frequently for shad on the Delaware River. Gordon took photos of the fish he caught and posted it on Facebook, with the images ultimately being observed by the U.S. That identification was then confirmed by a leech taxonomist at Virginia Institute of Marine Science. These leeches were reported in high numbers in the early 1970s on Atlantic menhaden and blueback herring, said Thomas Payton, a fish biologist at the USFW's Lamar Fish Health Center in Lamar, Clinton County, who compiled a report on the leech based on various research studies done over the years. Fishermen reported them ending up on their gear and on the decks of their boats. While this event was described as an epizootic, indicating disease and harm to the fish, there is no information available on how the leeches themselves affect their host fish apart from being a minor energy drain in instances when they are feeding. According to USFW's, shad from the Delaware Bay and River, Potomac River, Susquehanna River and Nanticoke River in Maryland have been found to have the parasite inside their mouths and on their gills this spring. The leeches emerge from cocoons in the late fall, attach themselves to various fish species, then leave their hosts to breed between February and May. After breeding, they deposit their cocoons on substrate like aquatic plants or rocks and die off. I suspect that the shad migration this year coincided with the leeches departing their hosts for mating season such that there were many leeches in the water column during the shad migration, Payton said. Being filter feeders, the American shad accumulated this leech in the mouth and on their gills as they were migrating through the estuaries. While they aren't appealing to look at, the parasites likely will not have any long-term negative impact on the shad and will drop off their hosts as the fish migrate upriver. Payton notes there are two reasons for this. One is the leeches usually perish after their breeding season and the other is that they're an estuarine species that will ultimately die in freshwater, especially as water temperatures warm. This leech is not new, the biologist noted. It has been found on American shad throughout eastern North America for many years and in this time, including events where it became particularly abundant, no negative effects on shad have been documented. As for Gordon, he's still catching shad with the leeches affixed to them. Angling on the Delaware River near Lambertville, NJ, one day late last week, he landed 28 fish during a morning outing. Of those, 5 had the parasite. It's safe to say it's a sight he doesn't wish to see too often in the coming years. One fish maybe had 100 in it and the other 4 had between 10 and 20, he said. I've caught tens of thousands of shad and I've just never seen this Lehigh County fish. The contest, which will include a number of trophy-sized fish, will take place 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Cost is $5 for ages 15 and under and $10 for adults. For more information, contact Herb Gottschall at hgottschall@verizon.net. Mark Demko is a freelance writer. Contact him at mdemko@ptd.net or follow him on Twitter at @markdemko1.